Hi, good afternoon. Here is the recording of the PowerPoint from today's MIE support application webinar. So what I'll be covering in this presentation is what is an MIEE, what are the benefits of becoming one, how does being an MIEE link with the Microsoft Educator Centre, and finally, how do you apply to become an MIEE? So first and foremost, then, what is an MIEE? Some of you might already be aware of it. Some of you may have already applied. But an MIEE is an individual with the following qualities. So the first one is somebody who's transformational. So that's not necessarily just using a Word document to type up a story. It's somebody who uses technology to really enhance the pupils' learning and also as a fantastic way of engaging them. It's somebody who tries new platforms to spice up that learning and also incorporates various methods of assessment. That is somebody with a transformational quality. It's also somebody who embeds EdTech practice. So when using EdTech with their pupils, whether it was in the classroom before lockdown or during the remote learning process, it's somebody who has got that EdTech now embedded within their everyday practice. That means it's somebody who's quite confident with using EdTech. It doesn't have to be somebody who's super confident with it all the time. It can be, somebody who wasn't particularly confident with using it, but during this period of lockdown or this period of remote learning, you've become even more confident with it. And that is the story that you are more than happy to share with Microsoft. And that, again, looks brilliant, the fact that you've jumped on that technology train. So that's great. It's somebody who exposes pupils and themselves to different platforms and also has a good understanding of 21st century pedagogy. Again, that can be done through various ways, through research, through articles, or through the Microsoft Educator Centre, which I will speak to you about in a little while. And it's also an individual who shares ideas within their school or within the wider community. If you are on social media, then that is advisable. You can be part of so many different groups on there and share loads of best practice and hints and tips and tricks when it comes to technology. But it's also an opportunity to really share ideas with everybody else, but also take them back to your school and to your organisations and departments as well. So what are the benefits then of becoming an MIEE? So the first one is the fact you get to be part of a global team. So when you're accepted to the Microsoft Innovative Education Expert Programme, you'll be added to a Microsoft team. Within there, it's got educators from across the world that offer advice, offer support. There's opportunities to speak and join different webinars. So it's a great global community. If you've got any hints or tips or you're looking for any support of anything, you can just pop your question in there and reams of people will get back to you. You get to represent Microsoft at global events such as BET. They open BET up to people who are prevalent in the MIEE community. You get opportunities to work down there on the Microsoft stand. You get opportunities to present, work with Microsoft partners. It's a fantastic event. I was lucky enough to go last January. They pay for your food, accommodation, and the social events, which are just fantastic. You get an exposure to a whole different world. You get to meet people that you normally only see on headlines. You get to do a lot of networking, and it's great to just be recognised for the work that you have been doing, and also a real opportunity to develop yourself. You can also have the opportunity to represent Microsoft at E2. This year that would have been held in Australia, but obviously given the current climate, that didn't go ahead, but they're always at fantastic destinations across the world. The next benefit of becoming an MIEE is the progression pathways. You start off as an MIE, progress to an MIEE, then you become a Microsoft trainer. Within the training program, you get invited to additional calls and you get given free training on how to do that effectively. You offer out codes and Microsoft track the people that you have trained. So it's not necessarily reams of work for yourself, but it looks fantastic. Then you can progress up to a master trainer and then you can become an MIE fellow. So I'm the MIE fellow for Lancashire and West Yorkshire. So obviously once you go through that training pathway and apply to be those different things, you can get yourself up to becoming a fellow and you get given a region. You get direct access to the Microsoft experts, so the likes of Jen King, Christy Hill, Mike Tolfson, Dominic Williamson, the program experts at Microsoft. You've got direct access to them on the global community. You can tag them, ask them questions, and they'll more than always get back to you. They're forever sharing the newest updates. They're sharing hints and tips on how best to use different platforms effectively. So you do get a real insight into some exclusives on there as well. There's monthly connection calls where you will be invited to. Once you're part of those monthly connection calls, you sometimes get offered to write blogs or be a spotlight to speak and share your journey. Also, in the monthly connection calls, there will be guest speakers that perhaps are from Wakelet or Merge. Again, they'll be sharing hints and tips on how to use their platforms. There's loads of swag, freebies to get your hands on to be able to take back to your schools as well. So a great opportunity there. So like I said, I've talked to you about the MEC. The MEC, if you're not already part of it, you can sign in with your Office 365 account, and there's a wealth of resources on there. They range from 21st Century Learning Design up to Paint 3D, to Microsoft, to Minecraft, to OneNote, to Skype. There's loads of courses on there. There's some on there that are specific to the pedagogical research around 21st century learning, so some real good, insightful knowledge. You can do this on your own, or you can use it for CPD. You can share it within whole school or all departments. You earn badges. So as you can see, you can view your achievements, you can view your badges, you can share it with colleagues, and also develop that competitive element if you wanted within your own organisations. So how do you apply then to be an MIEE? So you need 1,000 points. That's about 2 courses on the MEC. The code that I'm going to give you on the next slide, that will contribute to your points. So please make sure you redeem that. It's also a way to show that you've been part of training as well, which goes a long way, showing that you're quite driven, you've figured it out for yourself, you're quite innovative. So make sure you do redeem that code. You need to be able to download your transcript. Now, your transcript needs to be shared in your OneDrive area or something similar where you can share a link on your application. It needs to be somewhere where it can be viewed by people outside your organisation. Social media presence is advisable, like I mentioned. If you are on Twitter, fantastic. If you're not, I would recommend you get on it, just because there are so many people on there to connect with that will really help you in this EdTech journey. And finally, you need to produce a 2-minute sway or a video. I would recommend a sway because you can insert a video into it. And also you can kind of demonstrate a few more things on sway. So the things that they ask you to cover, there are several questions on the website, and I've popped the website link on this PowerPoint that's been shared with you. So go on there and please have a look at that. They want information about you. So when they're looking at info about you, they're looking like for how long have you used technology? What are you currently involved in? What kind of things have you been attending, for example, just to show that you're quite driven. So whether you've been attending calls, like I said, you've attended this webinar, so that's definitely something to pop on there. And it just shows that you're quite innovative and wanting to further your CPD. Use this as an opportunity to talk about your impact. So whether that's students' feedback, whether it's through Flipgrid or verbal or something that you've had recorded, you can talk about the impact that it's had on you. So perhaps has it changed the way that you teach? Has it reinvigorated your love for teaching? Has it changed the way you're working? Has it enhanced your well-being because it's allowed you to have a better teacher work-life balance? They're all things that you can comment on. And what impacts it perhaps had on the community? So whether that's your department, your whole school, or perhaps the wider community. And again, include training, any training that you've delivered or any training that you've also been a part of. That's definitely something to include. When it's mentioned about telling your EdTech journey, that, like I said in the beginning, if you were not particularly technological in the beginning, but you've become that way, you've explored different pathways, you've looked at different platforms, you've really embedded one, that is absolutely fine to say. They're not expecting you to be an expert in every platform right now. It's just about being able to embed those different platforms within school, within our pupils, to enhance the way that they learn and make that progress and be engaged in their education. And then finally, any anecdotes that you might have. So one that I tend to enjoy using is the use of Flipgrid. I had a pupil who was incredibly quiet, very rarely said anything within the class, but when Flipgrid came along, she became a completely different person and was more than happy to act, debate, as long as it was through Flipgrid. It gave her the opportunity to have a voice that nobody had really heard before. So it was a real powerful tool, and that is something that I'll never forget, and it's always in my toolbox should I ever need it again. So again, it's just a few bullet points on there. The website's at the bottom, and please make sure you have a look at the questions on the website. So finally is the Microsoft Educator Centre. Like I said, you can go on there, click on the profile favicon, and you can sign to redeem this code. Please go on and redeem it. Like I said, it will give you some points, and it will also show up in your transcript as attending some kind of training. So again, it'll look great when it comes to your application. Now, the final thing that I'm just going to show you is quickly my sway. So this is my sway that I've put together for this round of MIEE applications. So it's just a couple of things. My Twitter handle's on there, should anybody want to follow me. It's at T_L Innovation. About me. So again, just a few bullet points about who I am. So what my role is at school, anything that I've been a part of, where I am in terms of Microsoft. So just a few bullet points on there for them to have a look at. Why do I consider myself to be an MIEE expert? So if this is your first time applying, that area might be slightly difficult, but it's not necessarily what you've done since being an MIEE. It can be anything that you've done relating to technology and education that you can pop in this section. So there's just a little bit of information on there. There's a few images, and again, you can add text to these. So about independence, communication, and technological awareness. They're just three things that I think the pupils have definitely taken from it. You can insert certain videos, images, and then these are just some examples of pupils engaging with technology. So they're literally just screenshots from a Teams channel. So using Microsoft Forms at the end of a stream, pupils talking, streams channels, anything like that, using assignments for the pupils. How have you supported colleagues and others beyond Dribblesdale? So this is for me. So we've got the running the support session. So again, that's this. And then I've just popped a bit of text up at the top. So these are just images. These are just screenshots from different parts, things that I've shared within school, the Microsoft Educator Centre, the webinars that we did within school, and also webinars we've done outside of school. Some of you may have been a part of those as well. And then finally, how will it impact my current role? So I've kind of done, I will continue to do this. I will encourage more people. So that's just kind of my pledge to Microsoft. So that is my stream, my sway there. If anybody's got any questions about any of this, please feel free to get in touch. If you want to share your sway with me to have a quick look over, I'm more than happy to do that for you. I hope you found the session useful. Thank you very much.